In this video, we are going to dive a little further into the packet checklist and where the items needed can be found. Please note that required documents in these checklists do occasionally change or get updated, so please make sure you are using the most recent version of the specific checklist you need. We will start with how to find these checklist items and putting together your packets using CTM e-contracts. If you have not used CTM before, we highly recommend taking one of their free classes. We are only going to be skimming the surface of this software, so taking a class can be very helpful. After that, I will show you how to find these same items in Dotloop. In the next video, we will go over a few of the equity-specific documents in greater detail, as well as how to submit your complete packets to the compliance team. So here is the main page of CTM eContracts. For the purpose of this video, I've created a sample listing contract for Jane Doe right here. So I'm going to click on her. I did it for 123 Main Street, so then I will click on the address, and then I'm kind of in the main hub for this property. So to find any of the checklists, disclosures, forms, anything that we need, we're going to go up and click Create New Contract for this property. As you can see right here, it's linked to this contract for Jane Doe, which means it will populate with the name, address, any of the things you might need once that contract is complete. So this first section, we have all the contracts, disclosures, forms that are approved by the Colorado Real Estate Commission. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you will find all the forms and disclosures that are specific to either our brokerage, Dora, the Realtor Association, any of those. And you will notice that these are all smart e-contracts. So they're a little different than the forms above, and we will go into that. But if you want to scroll down, you now will see our equity section right here. And then since we are going to be working on this listing, we are going to do the listing packet checklist. You also see buyer packet checklist right here and under contract packet checklist. So since these are smart e-contracts, let's go into that for a second. If we click the little radio button for listing packet checklist, and then we hit create selected contracts, it's going to put this in an area called docs management. And that's located right in your right-hand menu right here. So you can always get back to it by going right there. But if we just click the name of any of these documents that are in here, it will open up a locked PDF. So we can't edit from here, but I will keep this open in this tab so we can reference to it since this is our main checklist. But then if we go back to actually edit these, we'll want to click this little paper with the globe icon right here. And then now we're in an area where we can add things by typing. We can click the radio buttons. We can add signatures, all of that. So you just kind of edit in a slightly different area than you do with some of the other disclosures, which I will also show you. But so I'm going to go back to that PDF right here. And this has everything that we need to create our listing packet. So items in blue are everything that's required. And so this very first one right here, commission disbursement and wire instructions form. So if we go back to our little main hub page again, and we create new contract, we're going to scroll down because that's in the equity section, and we will see it right here, commission disbursement and wire instructions form. So we'll click the radio button, create selected contracts, and again, that will put it in docs management for us. Then if we go back to our listing packet checklist, we will see, let's see, one of them down here is square footage disclosure. So since that's a Colorado Real Estate Commission approved form, that will be back into the first section right here. So let's find that one. Square footage disclosure, click the little radio button, create selected contracts, and then instead of having to edit it in the Smart e-contract section, you can just edit it right here in CTM. So once you hit save, if you go back, bear with me, you do have to kind of keep going back to that little hub. You will now see it listed in this area instead of docs management. And then if we go back to our list, another thing, so we have kind of some that will be smart e-contracts and then some that are just right there in that first section. And then you see one that's MLS full listing. So this would be the printout of your listing that you would get from Matrix. So you would save it as a PDF. And then to add that, we would go back to our docs management section and then click add new document. And here we can pull up anything from our computer. So we will do upload. We can either click or we can drag and drop. And then I'm going to add that MLS printout right here. So I'll hit upload. You can change the title if you need to, and then hit upload again. And then now that's going to add it to our docs management. The only difference is that we can't edit anything on this now since it was just a PDF that we uploaded. So, but it'll still live here with the rest. All right, so if we go back to our listing packet checklist, you're going to kind of just do the same for all of these items. You're going to go back into your e-contracts, create new contract, and you're going to find everything that you need. The seller's property disclosure, anything else that's strictly related to equity, and then eventually you'll have everything that you need for the checklist either in this little main hub section for that specific property, or you will have it in the docs management section. And then in the next video, I'll show you kind of how to compile all of these together and actually submit them to the compliance team. But in this next section, we will go over how to do all of this in dotloop if you decide to use dotloop as your contracting software. Okay, so here is the main page of dotloop. And the first thing we'll do is hit add loop in the upper right-hand corner. We do have a specific way of labeling loops, and that is the agent's name, whether it's a buyer or a listing, the client's last name, and then the full property address. So to continue with what we were doing in CTM, I will put in my name. It's a listing, my client's last name, and then the property address. Hit continue. For the loop template, for this one, we will do listing forms. Hit continue again. If you've already taken your listing photos, you're more than welcome to upload a photo, but it's not necessary. So I will hit done. And then it's going to ask for a few more little details. One of those is the status, which for this one I will do pre-listing, and then you can change the status as the time goes on. So I'll select that one, and then I'll just put in 800 for the listing price, and then you'll hit view loop. And the nice thing about dotloop is that since we selected listing forms, it already populated everything that you need from that listing packet checklist. So it's all right here. So one of the first things you would probably fill out is the exclusive right to sell. And if you click on that, this nice autofill feature is going to pop up. So the first thing I'm going to do is for the seller, I'm going to hit select person, add person, and then I'm just going to put in a few of the details for Jane, but you'll want to fill out as much as you can because it'll just help you in the long run. So I will put in the address. And then any other details you have, I will hit add person and then scroll down and hit autofill. And then it'll just populate where it can for the information that you gave it. So You can then just edit everything straight in here. So I'll just click a few of these things. I'm doing a seller agency. Say my contract date started today. It begins February 12th. We'll do a 6-month listing contract, so on and so forth. So then after you fill out what you need to, you will hit save. And then I would recommend saving periodically just so if something happens, you don't lose any of your progress. And then you'll want to use this little blue back arrow to get back to that main property address. So let's see. So we have everything right here. One thing that's different about Loop and CTM is that it's going to put all of the commission approved forms and the equity specific forms all in one place. So an equity specific one, for example, is the brokerage administrative fee form. And you can tell it looks a little different than the commission approved contracts, but you still edit everything the same. So I'll put Jane's name in there. Again, I'll hit save. I'll hit the back button. And then another nice feature is that if you remember in CTM, we needed to add the MLS printout, and we had to grab that from our desktop and add it to Docs Management. But right here, it has a little placeholder for that. So you'll just slide over here. You can click Add File, upload from the computer, and then we'll grab our MLS printout right there, hit Upload, and then it puts it right in there for you. So if you have a unique situation and you need a document that is not populated in this initial list, you can click Add Document right here. You'll hit Templates, and then you can go to the listing forms, or if you need to select another category and then find whatever it is that you need, hit the checkbox, and then hit copy, and then it'll add it to your list right here. You could also hit browse if you needed to upload something specific from your computer as well. And then let's just take a look at the packet checklist. And then in here, as you go and you're filling out all those disclosures and forms, you can kind of just make your checklists. Just to make sure you have everything. Don't forget to fill out the information up here, hit save, so on and so forth.